Not only was Hunter Biden hired for his influence with his dad to make corruption overseas go away, but that Biden was involved in it, Joe Biden, the whole time. And the Democrats don't care at all because they're phonies. They're epic, phony frauds, and they always have been. Here's the New York Post story without further ado. In my show notes today, do not miss it. Biden's secret emails, front page New York Post, revealed Ukrainian executive thanked Hunter Biden for the opportunity to meet the VP dad. Meet the VP dad. Biden just told us 3 times he, quote, never, ever, 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 ever even spoke to his son about his business over in Ukraine. Now he's meeting with one of the guys involved with the company in Ukraine. I thought that didn't happen. I thought he never, ever, 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 ever spoke to him about it. Folks, again, we've been covering this forever. And ever. You get the point. And now it's finally coming out. And no one in the media cares. Matter of fact, this knucklehead, Kyle Sniffin Griffin, he's sniffing. He's Biden's fan. They all like sniffing people. Sniffin Griffin at MSNBC. He's like, don't you dare cover this. These are supposed to be news people. News people. They have a bombshell in front of them. An explosive, revelatory story about deep corruption with a sitting vice president. And their line of attack is, don't you dare cover the news people. How bad is this? Oh, it's bad. By the way, if you want the story, please, bongino.com/newsletter. My newsletter is the show notes attached to the story. You can get these articles and every article we talk about every day. Let's go to screenshot number 1 from this explosive New York Times. New York Times. New York Times, New York Post. New York Times will avoid this like the plague. Quote, Hunter Biden introduced his father, Joe Biden, then vice president, to a top executive. Wait, this is impossible, folks. Joe Biden already told us he never even talked to his son about it, no less met with people. Hunter Biden introduced his dad to a top executive at a Ukrainian energy firm less than a year before Joe Biden pressured government officials in Ukraine into firing a prosecutor investigating the company, according to emails obtained by the New York Post. What the hell planet is this? What planet is this? That this is not a major story plastered upon CNN, MSNBC, Fox, ABC, NBC, CBS, and any other credible news station. Anyway, I say credible. I was only referring to Fox there. Again, I hate to do this, the can you imagine stuff, because the can you imagine, when you replace it with the GOP, would require that the media had some principles and dignity, and they don't, so they're stupid stories. But just for a second, play the game with me. Can you imagine if an email surfaced where President Trump demanded a foreign prosecutor investigating Don Jr. for a lucrative position on a company where he had no skills, that pressured the prosecutor to be fired while the guy was people from that company meeting with President Trump? Can you just for a minute get your arms around how bad this would be?
Katie, bar the door.
Oh, yeah. Katie, bar the door. They'd be calling for the guillotine. Off with his head. It would be, the chaos that would ensue. Can you imagine? But because it's a Democrat and a protected class, Joe Biden, no big deal, folks. It all goes away. Let me get to part 2 here. So what emails did they find on this computer from Hunter Biden? Check this out. The never-before-revealed meeting, talk about the meeting between Joe Biden and the energy executive introduced by his son, is mentioned in a message of appreciation that Vadim Pozharsky, an advisor to the Burisma board where Hunter worked, allegedly sent Hunter Biden on April 17, 2015. About a year after Hunter Biden joined the Burisma board at a reported salary of up to $50K a month. Here's the email. So this is from an executive at Burisma, where Hunter works, who met with Hunter's dad, Joe Biden, despite Joe Biden saying he never even spoke to his son about this. Here's the email from the executive to Hunter. Quote, Dear Hunter, thank you for inviting me to DC and giving me an opportunity to meet your father and spend some time together. It's really an honor and a pleasure, the email reads. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable, truly unbelievable. And I cannot believe, to quote my mother-in-law, I cannot believe. If this does not come up every single day from now until the election, it won't, because the media is a disgrace to the country. If this does not come up, I mean, what am I going to write them off for? You've already written the media off because they're an embarrassment. You know, now we've gone full Soviet Union. Full Soviet Union. Here's another portion of the story. No, Lucy, no eating that. She's trying to like eat a thing over there. Lucy's become like an integral part of the show. Yeah, don't chew on that. That's very dangerous. Okay, back to the story. So how'd you do that while looking at Lucy? That's pretty good. She popped this up on the screen. So, quote from the New York Post, an earlier email from May of 2014 also shows this guy Pozharskyi, who met with Biden, who was reportedly Burisma's number 3 executive, asking Hunter for, quote, this is great, advice on how you could use your influence on the company's behalf. I mean, if you had to write up emails on how to like frame someone for corruption, these are the emails you would write. The blockbuster correspondence, which flies in the face of Joe Biden's claim that he's, quote, never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings, is contained in a massive trove of data recovered from a laptop computer. Advice on how you're emailing the vice president's kid as they're paying him $50K a month and under investigation for corruption. They're emailing Hunter, hey, how do we use your influence? Basically, get out of this S-hole we're in. You couldn't write if you had to write a script and you sent it in to a Hollywood producer, they'd be like, this is the dopiest script ever. It's too obvious. Everybody's going to know the bad guy. You got to be a little more cryptic in the email. The Falcon has landed. He's telling him, hey, you're laughing back there. Isn't it true? If you wrote this in a script, Joe, you're a creative cat, right? And you gave this to like Jerry Bruckheimer or some Martin Scorsese, I don't know, some director. They'd be like, this is stupid. It's so obvious. Biden's a bad guy. There's no mystery. You got to make it a little more cryptic. Follow the yellow brick road. Let's use Wizard of Oz analogies. The man behind the curtain. See nothing. There's no way. Nobody would believe this. Do you do like a Pulp Fiction thing with the MacGuffin where you open up the case so no one knows what's in it? You open up the case here, you got an email that says, how do we use your dad to get out of this problem we're in and pay you to do it? Sounds kind of like, Joe. Sounds kind of like a quid pro quo, no? Something for something? Oh, what you accused Donald Trump of. Oh, you mean like you accused him of Russian collusion? Now that we know you colluded with actual Russian agents, people accused of being Russian agents to frame Donald Trump? So you colluded with the Russians, blamed it on Donald Trump. Biden's involved in a quid pro quo with the Ukrainians. We now have documented on emails, and yet Trump got impeached over a fake quid pro quo.
Come on, man.
Can you play that again for me, please? I need a double.
Come on, man.
Listen, I'm not a big drinker, but man, do I need a shot of some 1942 or something. No, Lucy, stop chewing on that thing. I really do, because this is like complete insanity. We are living in the, I can't say this enough. I legitimately cannot believe that I'm giving you this information and it's not a game changer, that Biden hasn't stepped down from the race today. I'm not kidding. What kind of world do we live in where the former vice president has now been totally exposed? The emperor has no clothes for a profoundly deep corruption scheme to enrich his family, documented in emails, and Biden is somehow still in this race. But Donald Trump's tweets, it's a conspiracy theory. Okay, sure.
You just heard Dan Bongino.